Hi everyone. Today we're going to look at the step-by-step process for making an interactive code-based visualizer that can very easily and quickly go live on the internet. As an example, this is the space type generator, what you see here. I did not make this. This is an interactive visualizer where you can type in the text. I typed in interactive code-based visualizer here. And you have these menu options on the left side, and I can adjust the sliders and adjust the parameters here and do all kinds of cool stuff. And we get this continuous motion as well. Okay, so this is what I mean by an interactive code-based visualizer. All right, so let me get out of this. We are going to use Google AI Studio to get this project done. And it should take very little time. It's a very easy step-by-step process. Okay, so here is Google AI Studio. This is different than just going to Google Gemini. You can see the URL here. It's aistudio.google.com. And you do have to log in with your Google account. So if you have a Gmail or something like that, that's how you can log in and use Google AI Studio. Okay, so the prompt for this is really one of the most important parts. For something like this project, use your imagination. You can make stuff like kaleidoscopes or do things with text. I'm actually gonna do something I've never tried before. I'm gonna try to do something involving something that looks like fireworks. Okay, so we're gonna start with a prompt like, please, oops, I have caps lock on. I like being polite to the AI, so I ask, please make an interactive code-based visualizer. Now, I've asked it what I want, I've described what I want, and now here's a very important piece of the code or the prompt that you need to put in there. In this case, I'm doing a three-dimensional thing, so I'm going to use a specific JavaScript library called 3.js. You don't have to worry about knowing about JavaScript libraries. I barely know about it myself. I'm going to type in use 3.js and use CSS. I'm going to type JavaScript. You can also just put JS, but CSS, JavaScript, and HTML in a single HTML file. That's a very important part of the prompt. And now we're gonna have it run, but on the right side, I'm going to turn on code execution, and I'm gonna turn off grounding with Google search. We don't really need search results right now, but I do wanna have the code, so make sure you toggle on code execution. This prompt I'm gonna run. It may not work. I am doing this live right now. I have not tried to make a fireworks interactive visualizer. We will see what happens. Part of the process often is testing it out, then going back in and talking with this AI model, telling it what is working, what's not working, and what you want changed. So as you can see, it is writing the code in real time here. I'm not speeding it up. And we're eventually going to get to the point where if you see this download button on the bottom left, once it's done, I'll be able to download the HTML file and save it on my computer. So now it's done. Let me just scroll back up and see. It usually gives a little description here. Yeah. It looks good here. It tells me about some of the features. We'll find out once we run it. So Let's go back to the bottom. I'm going to click on download. And I'm going to, I just have the downloads here, so I'm going to allow. Ah, wow. Okay, great. So we got fireworks, and I can toggle on light or dark mode. Okay, so the light or dark mode actually only changes the menu here. Let's see. But I can click, you can see I can click and drag around with my mouse around the visualizer here. Let me change the color. Ah, yes. Okay, so that worked as well. Okay, and change the speed. Let's do it very slow. Great. Now let's make it really small. Amazing. That turned out really well for the first time. Okay, but let's just say this part where it has the light or dark mode, it just changes it for the menu. I was actually hoping for the actual 3D space to go between black and white. So I'm going to try to go back in, and this is a good example of something after the code is written. And we'll see what happens. Okay, so it is going to think through this for a bit and try to make the adjustments. Now, while it's doing that, your project in your folder will look something like this. You'll have this .html file that you can click on, and it will just open in your web browser. Like right now, it's set to open in Chrome. This is important, and knowing where the HTML file is saved, that's important for when we get ready to upload to Netlify to have it go public and live on the internet. Okay, so we have the updated code. Let's see what happens. Download it. I'm gonna open. Okay, everything's looking good still here. It worked. So I turned off dark mode, and there's an option for black fireworks. Let's see if this works. It does. Look at that. Amazing. Okay, so that actually went very well. Don't necessarily expect it to work this well for you. Sometimes I've had projects where I'm prompting it 20 times trying to get exactly what I want. This is pretty close though. Now, if I'm being picky, I can say, well, let me just try to add something else for the sake of just going crazy with this. All right, while this is running, let's take a look at Netlify. It is netlify.com, netlify.com. I am logged in, I have an account. So you'll have to make an account, just with an email address. They'll probably give you a lot of options that may look a little strange in signing up. Just choose the option to sign up with an email address. And then once you have your account, you'll have a dashboard. It looks something like this, and we'll eventually get to the place where we want to look at projects and then add a new project. All right, let's take a look at this. This should be almost done. And again, we're using that same visualizer with the fireworks, but we're really trying to see how far we can take it. If it will add a text box feature that I can type in whatever I want, like the space type generator, and have it hopefully be look cool and interactive inside the fireworks. We'll see what happens. All right, so it's done. I'm gonna press download. Let's take a look. Okay, all that is looking normal. Let's make sure I can still navigate around. Yep. And let's do, we'll just type in UAB and press launch. Okay, that did not work. We just get this circle here. Let's type in something else. I'm just gonna type in a bunch of stuff. It's probably not gonna work. Nope. Okay, so this is where something always happens. And it may take a little bit of time. So this is where I would go through. I'm not going to do all of this for this demo. We're going to move on to how to get it live on the web in just a bit. But this is where I would type in something like, all right, so we'll fast forward to this so we don't take time while it's coding. Hey, it finally worked. That is pretty funny. Okay, so it took a few times. I'm trying a few things. Okay, yeah, it will look different with the smaller particles. I love it. Okay, so the final prompt, I was fast forwarding, skipping through some of that. This was the last thing I said to it. Let's go back up to the top. I said, that didn't work. No text at all shows up in a 3D space when I press launch. And it tried again, and it wrote some more code, and eventually we got in a good place. Okay, so next up, we have to take that final HTML file. So I have this in Project 4, and right now it's titled AI Studio Code 3 HTML. We have to rename it. This is important. This is not something that's optional. You need to rename the HTML file to index.html. So I'm going to do that right now. And actually I still have my caps lock on. I'm going to turn that off. And so we have the folder, Project 4, and we have index.html. Okay, now I can go back to Netlify. I'm logged in, I'm looking at my projects here in the projects tab, and I can add a new project. I'm going to click on deploy manually. So all we have to do, once the HTML file has been renamed, you drag and drop the folder right there. So project 4, I'm going to drag and drop. It's going to upload. Should take very little time. And just like that, it has published this project and given a URL that you can copy and paste. I'm just going to click on this URL right now, and here it is. Let me try one more time with the dark mode. Yeah, still works. Everything still works. So this is the URL, and this is what you need for sending this out, making a link so that anyone on the internet can access it. All of this was completely free. Okay, and this is also what you can use, copy and paste this URL to paste in the Canvas discussion post. And this index.html file, that is what you upload to the Canvas assignment submission. Okay, that is a whole process. Even with all the changes I had to make and asking it to redo some stuff, we got this whole project done in less than 20 minutes. Okay, not too bad at all. As far as what I'll be looking for in the grade, first off, does it work? Are there issues? Are there glitches? So if you, let's load this again. If you're looking around and let's say you change the color, there's a slider here to change the color. Great, but if you have something like that and it's not changing the color, nothing's happening, then something is broken. And you have to go in and tell it, hey, this slider is not working. So make sure anything you have is actually working properly. I'm going to be looking for that. And then beyond that, it really is just going to be, is it interactive? Is there motion? Is there something interesting happening that I can use and navigate around? Again, this one, I can actually zoom in and out with my mouse pad. So we have the little tiny fireworks. I can move around with my arrow keys, and I can click and drag and move it around. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Let's do particle size a little bit larger. So I can click and move it all around. And they'll do explosion speed way slower. You can see how I can click around like this. Okay. That is the basics of what I'm looking for. So let me know if you have any questions. This should take you really less than an hour to finish, unless you take a deep dive and you're customizing it and you go through tons and tons of prompts to get something really intricate. Also, don't be afraid. There are times where the first prompt you put in, whatever it gives you, if things are not working, and so you're going in there texting, hey, this doesn't work, try to fix this, there may be times where none of it will get to the right spot. You might just have to start over. If you do that, if you go back and start a new chat, a new prompt, then it will write new code from scratch. And that might be what it takes to get to the finish line. Okay, so don't feel like you have to just keep working with that same one that you started with. If it's not working at all, scrap it. Do the same exact prompt just on a new chat, and it will give some new code. Okay, that's everything. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to post those URL links in the Canvas discussions and upload the index.html file to the Canvas assignment submission.